Hi guys, next video. If you're just popping in at this one, please make sure you come out of this and go on to video 1, part 1. I've still not learned how to stitch videos together. I will put part 1 in the link below because I think it'll make sense watching part 1 first. Okay, so what were we asking him? My eyes watering. What were we asking him? His message for the UK, his message for the people of the UK, his message, and I'm using the archetypes, the well-known archetypes. Pilgrim again, we had that with the royal family. The tear. The crown. So this is his message for the royal body. I've just got really warm. He said there's a lot of exaggeration out there about the UK at the minute and how bad it's going to get. He said it's not. He said for some people it will, depending on where their mindset is and depending on what they've got to lose. He said, but the importance about it is to live balanced, is to live within your means, is to live from the mind as well as the heart. He said at the minute, in the last video we spoke about feelings and his opinions of that, but he said we need to go more into the head because he said a balanced, healthy individual can operate from the heart, but they can also operate from the head. He said we've gone too much into feelings, and he discussed this in the last one. He said you need to come back to a sense of can-do attitude, not the can-do attitude we see on social media. He says that's not can-do. It's the getting up and putting your best foot forward. It's sometimes having to have the stiff upper lip. It's sometimes to just get you through it. The seed, this is the time to plant new seeds. This is the time to, it's going to be a time of growth. It's going to be a time of growth. He's taking me back to the war era, World War II, and he's showing me the fact that there was so much war going on. Obviously there was war going on, but at the same time there was so much community. He's showing me the women now that were at home and how they got on with it. They did the job, they got on with it, and they built so many communities. He's saying community is important, family is important, sharing's going to be important. You know, you're not going to get through the next... I said yesterday up till 2025, didn't I? By sheltering yourself away from the world. The only way you're going to get through it is to be getting out into community again, speaking to people. He says, put my phones in. That's weird as well because I usually, whenever I'm working, I have all my social media around me. I've got my laptop, I've got my tablet, I've got my phone, because that's how I work. I work with social media. None of it's in here. Right, so this was a man before social media was even invented, and he's saying we need to put that down. Even though he's talking to me via YouTube, we need to put that down because that is actually holding us back. To get through the next few years, you're going to need people, communication, you're going to need neighbours, you're going to need community, you're going to need friends, you're going to need family, you're going to need to come back together again. I want to pull some cards on the possibility of I'm going to say World War III. Is there going to be a World War III? World War III. He's just saying no. No. Queen of Swords at the bottom. As I was shuffling these cards, he reminded me of what he said in part 1 about his time in the MASONs, okay? He reminded me about his time in the MASONs, okay? And the fact that the amount of deceit that is going on now, okay? And that's something he doesn't like about how it's gone in some areas, not in all areas, in some areas. He says actually there are people within that group of people that are actually working quite hard for people. And he says actually there is a lot of money given to charity, there is a lot of people helped. He said, and he's explained this in part 1, where in all circles and groups and societies and everything in the world, there is light and dark, okay? And he's saying, but there is this manipulation element that's here, okay, that want to take us in a different direction, but know that we will get through that and we will get the full card. He says, what you don't realise is all the old style men, okay, MASONs, are over there and they're actually helping. He said, oh, I like this. And he says that, he's saying that we have the, as in him, not me, we have the knowledge also. He says, let us do it from where we are. Let us do it from where we are, okay? He said, you on the ground are all trying to stop it and, you know, let people know about it and sharing your truths and stuff like that. He said, you're not going to win. You're not going to win. They'll come down harder. He says, but they will, okay? And he's saying there's a lot of wise MASONs that have passed over that are actually helping from above, that are actually helping. And this is one of their soul contracts for any misdemeanors that they carried out back then. One of the things is that they're clearing it and they're stopping it. He says, and we are more powerful than them, as in we, as in them, okay? As in Winston and his brothers, okay? Interesting. So no, there won't be a WW3. What do you feel about the world as it is today? What do you feel about the world as it is today? He's actually just shown me the Duke of Edinburgh, and he said, look, he's waiting for her. So I think, I mean, we've been saying this for a while, you don't have to be psychic to see what's going to be happening there soon. But he's just pointed at it. It's almost like we were in his office and then he said, look, he's waiting for her. So I don't know if some of you are thinking what's going to come next for Her Majesty, but there you go. I see how I called her Her Majesty. You see, that's not me. I usually call her Elizabeth, because you see how that's how channeling works. You can start to speak how, yeah, interesting. So what were we pulling cards on the world today? What is the world today like from your point of view? I'll show you in a minute. Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? So this is the world as we are today from the point of view of Sir Winston Churchill. The card at the bottom. We've got the Tower. We've got the Knight of Cups, and we've got this one, we've got the Five of Swords, Four of Swords, sorry, not Five of Swords, sorry. He at this point is wanting to say, please make it clear that all that we're seeing now, he doesn't agree with. He doesn't agree with how they are taking things. So, but he says it's not just them. He says we've got to stop thinking it's them. Because actually a lot of the problem is people, and I do agree with him in this respect. I think a lot of people are becoming their own worst enemies, and we have to stop this. I think we do have to become stronger. When he pulled me on it last night, he actually calmed me down a lot, because I was just, whoa, you know, and he said, no, okay, no, we can't do that. You can't react like that. That's stupid. It's silly, and it doesn't help anyone. It's about getting your inner strength back. Your proper, not the new age, wishy-washy inner strength. That's not inner strength. So what's the world going to look like in future? What's the world going to look like in future? He says darkness and greed have taken over. Darkness and not in the future. Darkness and greed. The need for power. He says back then it was all much more balanced, it was much more controlled, it was much more human. The future of the earth, please, the future of the planet humanity. hopeful. Humanity's got to take a leap of faith. We've got to take a leap of faith. And I think we've got to come away from this blaming, shaming, victimhood, feeling and everything else that's going on, and whistleblowing. And yes, whistleblowing in the right respects, but all this online stuff, you know, you only have to go on things like TikTok and they're just going crazy with it. And one of the things, as I'm talking about what I feel, I'm also channeling stuff through from Sir Winston Churchill, is it just muddies the waters. It just muddies the waters, and it makes a really messy situation even more messy. Okay, so the future of the planet is that the elders that are over there are going to try and help. And JFK said this as well. There is a lot of help over there that we can't see. There is going to be a toxicity. There is going to be a kickback. But one of the things he's wanting is for women to come back to their... He's talking about heart space. He says it's the narcissistic stuff that I keep talking about on here. I can feel everything, but they can't feel anything at all. It's pretending to feel. There's a difference between a woman that's operating from a heart space in a healthy way to operating, I can just feel everything, and actually no, you can't. Anyone can come on here and say they feel, and you know, you know, and it's not that energy. That energy is not going to get you through it. It's sly. There's something about a woman leader that's coming in the not Liz Truss. There's something about the actual divine feminine rising. I mean, I've said the divine feminine has never not risen. The divine feminine has always been up there. It's women that have sunk. Women have sunk. You know, we're seeing it on the world stage at the minute with various different women, various different areas of narcissism that's been portrayed in the world stage at the minute. But there's a choice point coming. There's a choice point coming. Who is this woman, the Queen of Cups? Can I have a card for the Queen of Cups? Hierophant, yeah. I don't know much about them because I've not done my research about them. I might go and do a bit of reading on them once I've finished. I always say, in some of my readings, this is always the powers that work hard. We've got the Queen of Cups. He's actually showing me women going into these circles in not just the circles, but women, the right type of woman, going in. There's a politician he's showing me, and I don't know her name, and I actually quite like her. Out of all of them, I quite like her. Is she from Yorkshire? I can't remember. Oh, I don't know her name. Oh, I don't know her name. Frustrated now, frustrated. Homemakers, he's saying the world needs more homemakers. He says that's a problem as well, that there's no homemakers anymore. Trigger coming, that women are working full time, that working having to hold down too many outside. He's saying there's too much responsibility for women outside the home. And it's all about women. That's what it is. Also, that more women are going to start being more self-employed, and they're going to go back to jobs. More women. There's something coming with women where they're going to get called back home, and they're going to become homemakers again. And the work that they do, because he says women can work and should work, but it's going to be more balanced, and it's going to be around the family. He said at the minute you've got children, he's showing me children on iPads and watching telly and going from family to family and babysitter to babysitter. He says that is going to get phased out for many people. And these new mothers that are coming in, new women that are coming in, that are going to come back with more traditional mothering ways. So it's going to affect women that are already here, but there's also a new wave of girls that are going to be born that are going to they're not going to want the big powerful careers. They're going to want to be, because that's the problem. He says there's no mothers. There's no mothers. Yes, there's mothers that are giving birth in hospital. There's plenty of that, he's saying. But there's no actual mothers that are at home, or balanced, healthy mothers. that can lead the way and raise balanced, healthy adults. He's showing me his own mum. I have not done any research. I've done a little bit. I listened to his voice this morning. I listened to one of his speeches. But I didn't want to. I wanted to get my own feel of him. And he's showing me his own mother. It feels as though he had a lot of respect for his mother. He said she was one of the few that could do it all. Cards for your mother, your relationship with your mother. We've got the moon, we've got the Two of Cups, we've got the Page of Cups, we've got the moon. There were some issues with the relationship, but he says the core belief system, bringing up strong, mentally strong children, he says it's really important. He says it's so important to bring up mentally strong children that are able to deal with life, that they're able to deal with work-related stuff, they're able to deal with heartbreak, they're able to deal with trauma, they're able to deal with illness, they're able to deal with life. And he says that is a big problem at the minute. We're not being brought up mentally strong enough. We as in everyone. And we're crumbling at the first hurdle, we're falling at the first hurdle, we're failing at the first hurdle. But it's not just about mothers as well, he's saying it's about fathers as well. Fathers and mothers and balance. If you can hear tap tap tap, builders. So what we on, let's give some parting messages. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you've come at the second part, please make sure you go watch the first part. He's an interesting figure and I've got actually some respect for him. I've got a lot of respect for him actually. And I think it shouldn't matter what someone's belief system is. I think we need to get over ourselves in the spiritual community about, oh, he's one of them. No, learn from it. Learn from it. Okay. So a parting card, a parting message is, yes, coming together. Parting message is the forest, okay, and the mask. So let the mask slip. So taking off the mask, coming together, the stone. Oh, the stone. He's saying something to us then. Aspects of it have gone hard, right? He says we need to make a healthy relationship with the whole, not with how it is now, but the whole teaching of it and understand it better from a balanced perspective. The stone, there's a small group that have gone hard, but the rest of it, okay, don't get triggered. And the forest, so grounding, stay grounding. Understand what's really happening, that it's only a small part of it. And the kiss, coming together, humanity, working together, balance. Thank you for watching. Thank you to Sir Winston for stepping forward. And I will see you. If you want to see more of it, please do like, comment and subscribe.